I wonder whether there's going to come a time where I run out of things to stop talking about because I am making these videos pretty fast. Like I don't really take much of a break in between. And it's genuinely because I do think about these things every day. And so it's just kind of like when I'm ranting out. But my brain works in a way where like all of the videos that I've made, my brain chooses to alternate between which one I care about on what particular day. And so I feel like eventually it's going to become redundant, and I really don't want it to. Um, so I'm not really sure what to do with that information. Topic for today. When you're dealing with depression and anxiety and being bipolar, the idea of addiction, like, and I know it sounds insane, but the idea of it becomes more and more likely in my life. And I say that because I recognize why people get addicted to things. I've been on medications before, and I'm not saying this in a way that I abuse it. Like I have generalized panic disorder, so I do take or I have taken Xanax in the past. I was swapped over to clonazepam because Xanax for me was just miserable, so I swapped over to clonazepam. But even not only that, like I've been prescribed hydrocodone and tramadol for surgeries that I've had in the past, and I've had back surgery done before, and I mean the medications you're on for that shit is insane. Anyways, the reason why I mention all of that is because I've had experiences with it, and I think it's quite literally the only time where my brain stops thinking all the time. And so I get why people get addicted to things because if you can't solve the problem, which is the fact that you can't control your own thoughts in your own brain, then what you start to rely on is the medications that you have access to. And I'm not saying this like I'm at a point where I feel like I need to be an addict. I'm just saying that I sympathize with people who become addicts. And what I'm also recognizing about myself is that, especially during these periods of my life, like December should be a very happy time for me because of me being this holiday person, because of me being this person who, you know, would love to spend the Christmases with people and Thanksgivings. Because I don't have any of that, I can completely understand how nice it would be to just take medications and just get through the season. Especially because I'm not in school, like I don't have any responsibilities. Like I could literally be on that bed every single day, high out of my mind and not have a problem with it. For that same reason, I'm kind of grateful that I'm not in a state where weed is legal because I feel like if it was, I would 100% just be zooted out of my mind every single day. But I will also say that the way that weed impacts me is completely different than the effects, obviously, of the drugs that I've had access to in my life. What's also a really scary thought is that I do have the ability to gain access to medications whenever I want to. And again, I'm saying this because this is thoughts for the void. Like this is something that like I'm very much not expecting anybody to see, but usually I would say at one point in my life, because I've been dealing with this anxiety and depression for so long, at one point in my life I thought about it to myself. I was like, I would love, this was back when I was in high school. I was like, I would love to be on medications right now, but the black market, like it's so hard to gain access to. I don't know whether the black market is hard to get access to. I don't ever deal with that shit, but I'm just saying that the black market is not the only way that you have to get drugs and medications. I shouldn't be talking about this. I'm the only thing that I'm recognizing is that you would think that addiction would not have this pull because you see so many people talk about the negative impacts of drugs and you see so many people talk about how hard it is to break free from it and like don't start because the moment you start it's going to be so hard to stop all this buzz. And yet I'm sitting here and I'm like, but how nice would it be to just not live in suffering every single day? Like, anyways, I laugh about it, but I've been going through a really hard time. And it's gotten to the point where I've just for my own benefit, I've looked up psychiatric hospitals. What I've learned is that all of them have terrible ratings, but it's not always a reflection on the actual quality that they provide. I don't know how that works, but it's like they just tell you online like you're never going to find a decently rated psychiatric hospital. But here's another side note. I was doing calculations just for fun to see like if I were to go and check myself in, like what would the financial impact be on me? Because again, I'm on my own health insurance, which I've talked about already. It's a nightmare. So I have to balance this idea of do I go get checked in because I feel like there might be a time where I need it, or do I just tank it and hope that, anyways, I really hope this one does not get 300 views because this one will probably get deleted. But you know what? I'm going to upload it and I'm going to leave it up for a couple hours. I'll probably watch it a couple times and then I'll decide what I'm going to do about it. But that's what's on my mind today. So, yeah, if you watched, no, you didn't. And pretend you didn't. All right. Thank you. Bye.